descended.
Welcome to another episode of the Black Powder Podcast. The primer's hit, the powder's lit. This is Yasuke Fett, and it's time to get on target. With me today, I have another special guest, the first special guest, as a matter of fact. Goes by the name of OG, and he is in charge of OGUN GEAR. Now, OG, first off, how you doing, man?
I'm alright, man. How are you doing today?
I'm good and blessed as always, trying to continue to live one step at a time, one breath at a time, you know?
Wonderful. I appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, it's pleasure's mine and it's an honor. You've been active in this space and you've come a long way, man. So yeah, I definitely had to get you on here.
Thank you.
So speaking of which, because I just said OGUN GEAR, you know, there's a lot of people that are probably curious about the steamroller machine that is OGUN GEAR. So what exactly is OGUN GEAR and what influenced you to create it?
OGUN came about from researching history, and I looked into the religion of Yoruba. With that religion, there is a certain set of, like, I guess you would call them deities, and they call them orishas. And one of those orishas is OGUN, and OGUN is the orisha. His power would be like over iron and metal work, war, and things like that. So I chose to name the business OGUN GEAR as a way to honor him. I don't practice the religion myself or anything like that, but I do, believe that we should expose ourselves to more than what we're just taught. And that's what I strive to do with OGUN GEAR, is like, teach us without teaching us per se. So all of the products are named after figures in our history that we probably should read up on and learn about that we might not know of. So I try to sneak little snippets in there. But we offer firearm accessories, anything from pistol bags, rifle bags, ear protection, eye protection, the basics that any individual that just picked up a gun from a gun store would need. That's what I was set out for, to basically be able to provide that for us from a member of our community. So yeah, that's basically it, bro.
That's pretty deep, man. That's a hefty goal too.
Thank you, man.
Much appreciated, because I know not just in the firearm industry, but just Second Amendment community in general, it's kind of hard to find something that kind of fits with what you're looking for, because you do have a lot of us that are like, I only want to buy black owned and black owned only. One of the issues that I've noticed about that is the fact that there's a lot of people that have a black owned mindset and they carry it into that Second Amendment lifestyle, to the point where it's like, people think that I only want to buy black firearms from a black manufacturer. And that's where things get a little bit more questionable, because I think at one point there was Civilian Arms. I can't remember the full name, but it's like Civilian Arms was the only black manufacturer of firearms, but I think they're defunct now. So
yeah, I think they were in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Somewhere up north.
Something like that, yeah. But they were the only ones I could think of. But the fact that you're taking something that is completely black, it goes back as far as, let's just say from a long time ago. The historical areas, Africa, Brazil, parts of South America, which Brazil is part of South America, but just different spots and plots where there's a rich history. So I think that's pretty cool, man. I really hope you continue to push this towards some good success.
Thank you.
No, thank you, brother. Keep doing it. But what would you say is the ultimate goal behind your brand?
Well, I have to say it's probably a couple of different goals, but the ultimate goal was, like I said before, just to provide a space where our people could shop and not feel watched over, because I've been in the gun community for probably about 9 years now. So I've been to these ranges and I've been to these gun stores where You walk in and they're staring at you, and they're walking along with you through every aisle. You go to the range and they're treating you like you have no clue what you're doing, and then I see somebody else from another community walk in and they're just like, "Hey, Bill, yeah, lane 6 is ready for you." I'm just like, man, I've been here multiple times, probably just like him, but you just haven't paid enough attention to recognize me as the human being that I am. So to kind of counteract that, even though OGUN Gear isn't yet a physical store, I wanted to give our people a chance to be able to shop without persecution, without feeling less than. So yeah, that's the main goal of OGUN Gear. Outside of that, secondary goals would probably be, I've always wanted to spread entrepreneurship, like spread the gospel of entrepreneurship in the Black community. For too long we've been left out of this. We've been sitting on the sidelines, and we hop onto waves once they're over already, once the money has been sucked out of it. And everything isn't all about money. I don't stand by money to that extent, but we can't do a lot of the things that we need to do for our community without the resource of money, without that tool. So that's what I also stand for. I want to do some work later on with entrepreneurship with kids. I got a couple of nonprofits that I've seen that I want to do work with, that I've written down. That'll be coming in the future. But entrepreneurship and just overall awareness and safety. A lot of our community has issues with gun safety. Those of us who are just regular civilians, not like prior military experience or prior law enforcement experience, we have trouble with sticking to those basic safety rules. And those little missteps can cause fatalities, whether it's just shooting yourself and it's non-fatal, or shooting somebody else and it is fatal and that person passes away, God forbid. But we have to do our due diligence to learn how to use these weapons properly, but it's also important that we have them for our safety, as we've seen pretty much since we've been in America.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with those goals. I guess number one, I guess I'm lucky because I haven't really had any issue with like, let's say, walking into a predominantly white range and being questioned about the color of my skin, or they're looking at me like, okay, he's a thug or something. Because me, I just roll in there. I'm wearing because I got like a pair of 511 jeans, 511 pants. You get those jeans and pants, man, let me know, because I'll be buying them from you.
Oh yeah, that's in the works.
Cool,
I got
cool.
that. I got a whole list of products that I'm looking into getting into that area. So I got you, bro. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good. It's always good to know what's coming up. But I'm just rolling in there. I'm looking like I'm really trying to focus on getting better as far as my targets and my shooting and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm out of place. So I walk in there, and the ladies that are behind the counter, they're usually in good spirits. They'll laugh, and I usually tell jokes anyway, so they'll laugh at them, no problem.
Yeah.
But regardless, man, Atlanta Range and Ordnance, that's where I go to. They never gave me any trouble.
Wow.
I hope it stays that way, because I have heard other stories as far as people having different interactions. So that's one thing. The safety aspect, I definitely agree with, because you got a lot of people, and you'll see it a lot on social media. You got that one girl that she goes out, her first gun is a high point. She's over there posing with it for the gram, pointing at herself, using the barrel to fix her hair or something, and then she's pointing at the person that's got the phone on. Just stupid shit. I gotta call it what it is. It's stupid shit.
Yeah.
And, I definitely agree with being able to purchase items from somebody that shares my reflection and somebody that knows the same thing that the community is going through in general. Because this is a new turning point for us. You know, this isn't a turning point where we see the stereotypical black people on television. We are now seeing our friends, our family, and our neighbors in the same boat as we are. And
absolutely,
I would dare say one of the reasons why I created this podcast is there needs to be some type of unity in order to get everyone on the same page, no matter if you're single, in a family, by yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. And
absolutely.
What do you think about, you know, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, whatever you want to call them? I say brothers and sisters lovingly, but then, you know, you got the one cousin that's kind of like, okay, bless your heart. You know, that type of cousin.
Yeah.
But what do you think about them as far as them trying to intimidate the other races? Because I honestly think that you don't need to light that fuse and set something off. I think you just, you know,
absolutely,
the way of the peaceful warrior, if you will.
Exactly. Well, before I say that, I definitely want to, you know, give you your flowers. I meant to say this in the beginning. I definitely appreciate you. And you were actually my first customer. I know we talk about it on Instagram from time to time, but you were my first customer. I'll never forget it. I was on my way to Raleigh to meet with a gun store to get my stuff put in their store, and you were the first sale. So first, I'd like to, you know, give you your flowers for that. I definitely appreciate you. You set this path that I'm on. So that's first. But as far as what you said with the intimidation factors, I don't really agree with that. I mean, but to each his own. You know, I try not to, you know, tell people how they should live their life. I just do my best to live mine in the way that I feel I should. But you know, I don't really subscribe to that. Me personally, I more so go for educating our people. Anything that I say or anything that I do is not to demean or, you know, intimidate any other race or, you know, cause you to look down on yourself or anything like that. I'm not here to I don't want to say pass judgment, but, you know, to be the judge and jury of what you do. Because I mean, it's counterproductive, to be honest. Like I said before, our people are really behind the eight ball in almost every aspect that you can think of. So, you know, putting too much energy towards, you know, putting down another race or making somebody, you know, feel bad about what they've done in the past, or, you know, no, being too judgmental towards that is counterproductive. That's efforts that we could have been putting towards our own community to actually help us to reach the point that we want to reach. But like I said, you know, that's for that individual to determine. My biggest thing is, are you for the community? And that's the biggest thing for me. I try to align myself with people that I see that are truly for our community and you know, uplifting our community. That's the biggest thing for me. If you got that going for yourself, we're all good.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that, and appreciate the shout outs, man, because I'll be honest with you, it was 2 patches I bought because at the time that's all I could afford. You know, I don't know where I got that money from. I scraped it together. I'm over here with a mission. Like, I gotta support black owned business, even if it costs me my last dollar. So, you know, I appreciate it. I just want you to know that ramen noodle dust was pretty good too, by the way. You know, not the noodles themselves, but the dust packet that came with it. So, you know, remember me when you get your own brand name ramen noodles.
Hey, I got you, but until then, Master P got us.
Dang. Okay. But you absolutely right about the fact that we're late in the game, because, and I keep bringing up these stats, man. This is from CNN and USA Today. Number of guns purchased in 2020 was between 23 to 40 million, And if you look at the stats on black gun ownership, you got at least 9.3 black men that own guns, 5.4 black women that own guns, compared to the 55.8 of white men that own guns, and the 16.6% of white women that own guns. Not saying that, you know, we're trying to gather everything to go to war or anything stupid like that, but
yeah,
it's just, you're right, we're behind the game. And I definitely agree with what you're saying as far as educating, not to hate, but to better our community, because
exactly.
This might sound like a conspiracy, but to me, the whole Stop Asian Hate thing, I think that was set up, man. And I know I'm getting into some deep territory, but if you ask me, after the events that happened after January the 6th, it's almost like they had to find another scapegoat in order to prove that, you know, the status quo isn't the enemy. So all of a sudden, it's black people versus Asian people, which to me doesn't make any sense, because I don't think there's been, as far as I know now, I could be wrong, I know as far as communal wise, there are a lot of other races that own businesses and stores in, let's say, some of the poorer black neighborhoods, but nonetheless, as far as I know, there was never anything to set that powder keg off. So for it to just kind of come out of the blue, it just seems like it's a cover up. But that's just me.
Yeah, you turn a lot of people off when you start talking about conspiracy, but, you know, people act like, you know, conspiracy theories haven't been proven true in the past. So you have to hear everything and determine on your own based off of, you know, your knowledge of history. And that's why I preach history, because it's, you know, like I said, it's very important. I preach history out of love, not of hate for anybody else.
Right. So the next generation can do better, and the people in the present can also learn to do better as well. So I definitely get it.
Absolutely.
And I still find it strange because it just came out of nowhere. That's why I always feel like you have to examine both sides of a situation in order to come to an answer that makes logical sense, because as of right now, we've got a lack of accountability and a whole lot of feelings, to the point where the feelings don't make any sense. You know, there's nothing that ties the feelings together. It's almost, if you will, you compare that to the war in the Middle East, the holy war, the religious war, because you've got generations of hate to the point where the young generation doesn't know why they are fighting the young generation of their quote-unquote enemy, you know, from both viewpoints. The only reason they're doing it is because of, number one, quote-unquote, their religion tells them to do it, and number two, my father hated your father, so it was good enough for me. So I'll continue this blood feud that we had. And there's no release of actual logic and actual ability for people to think for themselves. Because if you let them think for themselves, they can come to the conclusion like, there's no point in us doing this. We have to raise families and do better for the future of our people, and we can come together in peace. But I know that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, man.
But shoot, enough of the serious stuff. Definitely got to have
lighten it up a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have you back for some future conversations, man.
For sure, man.
But speaking of the future generations, man, and you selling to people that have your same reflection, how does it feel being able to do that?
Oh man, it feels wonderful. You know, honestly, coming from where I'm from, as far as you know, I did go to school. I went to Fayetteville State University. But after that, I didn't graduate, and I jumped into the workforce. And you know, I jumped into surveying at first, and then I jumped into warehouse work. So you know, it's not the best environment, you know, for a black man, especially. You're talked to like you're trash. You're treated like you're trash by management most of the time. You know, I can't speak for every job, but most of the ones that I've been at in those types of fields, you know, you're not treated like you like you're at least mid-ranking official for like a Wells Fargo or Bank of America or any of those major companies. You're not treated that way. You don't have Christmas parties and secret Santa gift exchanges and things like that. So coming from where I come from, as far as my work experience and coming to where I'm at now, it feels amazing, man. I just quit my job June 17th of this year. So it was exhilarating, man. Like I'll never forget it. It was a time where I wanted to I had just gotten that job, and I told my manager, I was like, is it any way on my lunch break that I can go see my son for his basketball practice? Because he had just started basketball for the first year. It was still the the little league stuff where they pulling out the little tiny hoop that they put on the floor, like kind of like a regular little Tykes one.
Yeah.
And so I was telling them, is it any way that I can, on my lunch break, go see my son? I'll probably be gone for an extra 30 minutes. And I'll be back. I'll come back, finish out my shift. I work second shift, so I was in there till about 11 o'clock. So, I didn't think it was anything huge to ask of somebody, and it was only for a week. So, I'm thinking like, man, it's not that big of a deal. He could say yes. This man told me no. And, that ripped me apart, man. That was, and now we see with COVID, that was the last time I would have been able to see my son play basketball. He hasn't played since. So, that was, that time period really hurt me. I being honest, I'm not afraid to show my emotions. So, I went in the bathroom and I cried, man. If there's anything that's gonna make me cry, it'll have something to do with my family. I went in the bathroom and I shed a couple tears, man, because he deprived me of being able to see the something that I love, which is basketball, but my son's involvement in basketball. And that was another man just like me telling me that I could not do that. And there was nothing that I could do about it. I couldn't, I could leave and quit, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to go get another job. And they'll probably say some of the same types of things. So to be where I'm at now and to have the freedom of, if I'm in the middle of packing an order or speaking to my manufacturers or anything like that, all I got to do is tell them, look, I'll hit y'all up tomorrow, or if I'm packing the order, just put that joint down for a couple of minutes. Hey, let's go for a walk, or let's go outside and shoot the ball, or whatever the case may be. If it's my nephews or anything, my sister, brother, I have nothing holding me back from being able to do the things that I want to do outside of the work that I have to do. But it's not like I'm on a clock for anybody. So it means the world to me to be able to serve my people, and at the same time still be able to be the father that I want to be, the son that I want to be. I have a girlfriend now, but the boyfriend that I want to be. All of those types of things. So it means everything to me, man. I could go on and on about it.
I definitely understand. There comes a time where when you realize that you're putting in all your blood, your sweat, and your tears for, like in the average man's case where you're working an already established job, you're putting in all that effort, blood, sweat, and tears into somebody's dream, somebody else's dream, another man's dream, if you will, that's already established his goal. And his goal is creating generational wealth for his family. So you're just trying to get your pound of flesh, if you will, so you can go ahead and take care of your family. But then you realize that you're getting held back. And brother, believe me, I understand the bathroom cry. That is not the best feeling in the world, especially when you're working. You're doing blue collar work. You're working in that no emotion, don't let him see you sweat type environment.
Yeah.
And for me, and it was an ugly cry too. I broke down. I'm not even ashamed to say this. I love my father, but I broke down,
Yeah,
and he's still around, so I'm not ashamed to say it. I hope he's listening right now. But I
yeah.
broke down and cried in the bathroom after he told me they found like it was something on his I think it's his kidney or his liver.
No.
I think it's his kidney. But nonetheless, when he hit me with that news, you know, it was right before I had to go to work, so I had like a good couple of hours to just go ahead and let that stuff brew or marinate. And then I went into work, and I'm getting talked down at because something happened. I did something wrong. I got two things mixed up, you know. And I'm not trying to blow my horn or anything, but you know, I was one of the best workers there, and they're coming down on me like I'm not worth anything. And I finally told them, you know, I don't usually break like that, but I broke right then and there, and I cried in the manager's office, man. And I had like maybe 3 or 4 managers because it's a big area. So cool thing that happened was, you know, 2 of the dudes was pretty religious. They sat down and they prayed with me.
Okay.
But before that even happened, man, I'm like, I said, excuse me, ran into the bathroom, went into a stall, and like freaking waterfalls, right? That's what was happening.
Yeah.
And then one of my coworkers walked in. I heard the door go, and I'm over there bawling. All of a sudden, I hear it go, because the door closed.
Bro said, "Let me get up out of here."
It's an awkward feeling for everybody. So
yeah,
kudos to you for being able to realize that it was time for you to chase your own dream and live the life that you should have been living and experience that freedom. So yeah, man, kudos.
Thank you, bro. Man, kudos to all the customers out there that have made it possible for me to live my dream. I couldn't do it without them.
So, on the topic of your dream, how hard was it to get started?
Well, honestly, bro, I've been bouncing between starting a product-based business for probably the last 6 years or so. And you know, the barrier to entry has always been obtaining capital. So I always struggle with that. That was always the hardest part for me. Everything else, not to say everything else was easy, but I knew everything else would fall into play because I'm a serial researcher. You know, I'm very committed. I'm a committed individual. So once I start doing something, I'm on it. And if I love it, I'm sticking to it, you know, forever. And you know, that's pretty much how it was. So starting out, the biggest thing was the financial piece, and what helped me out with that was those first stimulus checks. You know, just like everybody else, I was extremely excited to get them stimulus checks, and I got it, and I put it into stocks. So I got my stock account to a pretty decent size, and from there I came up with the idea I needed a rifle bag. So I was like, it was around Juneteenth, and the whole month of June, every Friday I ordered something from a black owned brand. So I was going for trying to find a black owned rifle bag, and I could not find it, bro. I couldn't find it anywhere. I searched high and low, couldn't find it. So I was very close to just going to Amazon and just grabbing any whatever bag I could find. So exactly. I was very close to that, but then I was like, you know what? How many other people that look like me and want to buy from somebody that looks like themselves? How many other people like that exist? I was like, it has to be at least 150. And I was like, you know, if I could come up with a brand for 150 people to support, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, a record-breaking company, but I could at least supply our people that look like me. And that's what I did. I started looking, finding manufacturers that could get it done for me, and I found some. I ordered some samples, and I was pleased with the samples. I came up with a couple of other products that could go well alongside it for other for beginner shooters, because also during that time, of course, um, the election was going on, and excuse me, I'm sorry. No, the election wasn't going yet. It was coming up, and every election year things go crazy as far as gun sales. But things also seem very different around this time. This was just around just I started just before George Floyd passed. Just before that happened. So the world was in a frenzy, and so I got everything in order. I ordered got my logos. My mom invested a little bit of money with me to help me start it, and I got it going, man. And it since then it's taken off. Outside of that, the toughest thing behind getting that first bit of money was dealing with like lead times as far as like during holidays, because last year I had a influx of people that ordered the larger rifle bag, the 42 inch, and it was all types of issues that happened with that rifle bag, and the OG Visions, the training laser. So it took months for that stuff to be able to be shipped to me. They shipped the rifle bags to me. It had another brand's name on it. I was just like, yo, I'm over this. I had to, get back with people in email like, I'm so sorry, y'all already been waiting like 2 months. And now I got to tell you that I have to, you have to wait another 2 months or so before I can get you your stuff. So, that was a hard time. I'm having people contact me and say like, hey, I need my money back. Like, this is just taking too long. And, on their end, I understand from a consumer, from a consumer space, I do understand. It's not on you to understand what's going on as far as the business side. But on my side, I had a ton of stuff going. Like any website, of course, with your podcast, we were talking about it before we went live. There's a ton of things that happen on the back end that the customer never sees. Yeah. You wouldn't even understand how difficult it is just to get a that buy now pay later button on your website. Just that little button, the Sezzle or the Afterpay, Klarna, just that little button takes, a whole line of code. And I'm decent with tech, but I'm not a coder or anything. I'm not in on that level. So, something like that might take you about 6-7 hours to figure out. And that's if you don't have to get tech support to come and help you out. So the consumer sees one thing, but the business owner sees another thing. And then on top of that, you also have so much other stuff to worry about. You got marketing, you got procurement of the products, you got quality control, you got shipping. Like, it's just so much stuff that has to be done. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Let me jump in there real quick, because I work in the customer service field, and I'm glad you brought that topic back up, because I always hate it when people are like, when you ship it, you want to do it, you just got to hit a button, right? That's all you got to do, is just hit a button. Like, you do not know
exactly
what, because my mom had a shea butter business. Is called Aroma K, like years ago, and I really wish she would start it back up, because that was some of the best damn shea butter I ever used. You know what I mean? No, I'm dead serious, man. She had like hair products and everything, and
oh man, like, this is the Walmart, time for that.
I know. So I'm like, Mom, get it started. I mean, it was a lot better than that Walmart stuff that looked like Play-Doh, man. This was like African shea butter, certified by the African Institute, so on and so forth. And I'll never forget the time she had trying to put that that one PayPal button up just to try and get one product to go into the cart. So I definitely get it, man, and it just annoys me when you got people that say, "Well, there shouldn't be any issue. You should be able to do it." And then the whole trying to order for the holidays thing, I definitely get that. I'm surprised that they sent you the wrong branded bag. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I was absolutely livid. I could have thrown some shit that day.
Did they at least make up for it?
Oh yeah, they gave me a discount for a later purchase. So I mean they send me free things from time to time. So I mean I wasn't too upset. You know, I mean I'm not gonna lie, I was upset, but I wasn't upset at any given individual. I was just upset at the situation because, like I said, you know, the customers don't care about that. You know, people want their stuff, and unfortunately, having companies like Amazon and you know, really any company that is at a level to be able to compete with the Amazon shipping times, you know, they pretty much spoiled consumers now to where they expect that stuff. And yeah, they might give a black-owned brand maybe, whereas they give Amazon 2 days, they might give a black-owned brand a week. But it depends on where that black-owned brand is at. I'm a year and about a month in, and I still don't have any hires. So I'm still honestly at the same level I was back then, just with way more orders. So you know, that's something that we do have to understand, but at the same time, black businesses have to do better. And that's why I try to, you know, bring people in on my shipping process. I do the pack with OGs, so, you know, people see that, you know, I'm not just out here like chilling half the time and, you know, leaving y'all's orders just sitting there while I'm in Bora Bora or something.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean I'm always working. I just may not always be working on shipping.
So that's why it took so long to get those 2 patches.
Yeah, bro. It shouldn't have taken that. It shouldn't have taken that long for yours. You was the first one. It really didn't get bad until about January, and then after that, when I released the plate carriers.
Oh god, I bet that
it was about 50. Yeah, it was about 50 people that did the pre-order because I didn't have the money to order it like straight off the bat. I had to get people to pay for them, then I ordered it.
Right.
So yeah, that was a hassle. I had probably about one person that asked for a refund from that time because those took about 2.5 months to get to me too. Yeah. So and people, I don't know if people just don't pay attention to the thing that says pre-order or what, but it was like, it's people that was hitting me up like a week and a half later, like, yeah, I ordered this a week ago. I'm like, bro, it says pre-order. Don't expect for at least a month.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie, man. Way before I even heard of OGUN GEAR, or OGUN GEAR. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna lie. I purchased a plate carrier off of I think it was eBay, and I purchased the plates too. So I had to you know, I put one together, and I bought one that was a complete set. But even still, this was around the time where they were talking about trying to, I think, ban plate carriers, and there was still the whole the gun rush thing. And
wow.
The prices were raising up, so it wasn't exactly like the whole Amazon thing where, oh, okay, cool, I'll purchase a plate carrier today, and it'll be in my mailbox in 2 days. Like, no, it's the supply and demand aspect, because it's one thing if you can predict which way the market is going to go, but just starting out, trying to get a feel as far as what's going to sell, what's not going to sell, what the people want versus what the people need, you know, just the analytics behind it is not exactly the easiest thing. And
absolutely,
and it's almost like because you were talking about stock earlier,
Yeah.
You could probably agree with this. It's the way certain things go, whether it's stocks or sales, is by the time the customer base gets extremely into what's out there, like say for example, when GameStop blew up, right? Or,
Yeah.
excuse me, GameStop. When GameStop blew up and it hit the news, it was already too late for anybody to do anything as far as purchasing it because they missed out on that window. Yeah, you know, I actually had it back when it was maybe $10 to $15, but then I got upset because of the stories I heard about how they treat their staff. So I sold it out of emotion, which was a mistake. But regardless, it's like the customer needs to keep in mind that if I'm trying to purchase something at the height of popularity, I really, like you said, you should exercise patience, and I should also realize that what I want isn't going to end up on my front doorstep when it should. But at the same time, if I ask for a refund and then I can't find the item elsewhere and my refund is already being processed, I've just shot myself in the foot. No pun intended, considering this is a Second Amendment podcast, but I've shot myself in the foot, and now I have no placeholder or no guarantee as far as waiting on the item, or at least knowing that it will arrive eventually. So now I've just got to start the whole process all the way over again. So it's a game of patience and a game of study.
Yeah, that's big too. Yeah, back orders are a different type of beast, man. You could order something and that's the other thing, the other side that people don't see as well. I'm out here ordering stuff. A lot of my products come from similar suppliers that some of these major brands use. So I'm competing with them in a sense. If they have a $45,000 order, and I'm placing this simple little $2,000 order, who do you think they're gonna pay more attention to? Right. So I gotta wait my turn in line, but the customer doesn't know that. So it's a lot of red tape with this stuff. It's a lot of things that people wouldn't know unless they're either directly associated with somebody who is in a business like this, or if they're actually in the business. That's the only way that you would know. Me personally, I share every chance I get. I try to keep everybody informed with what's going on, and some people don't want to hear that. They just want their stuff, and I could, like I said, I can totally understand. But at the same time, we have to have a certain level of compassion. Like as long as I see that a brand is getting their stuff out, I don't care how long it takes. I really don't, because I understand. And even before I understood all this stuff, I was just like, I could only imagine how much further behind you are than Walmart. So Walmart would probably have to get 4 to like 8 million sales of one product for them to feel like you feel at 25 orders. So I've always understood like that concept. So I never really, unless it's ridiculous, like it's been 6 months, I ain't heard nothing from you. Like I've checked your Instagram, I don't see you saying nothing about it. Like unless it's something like that, then I'm gonna give you all the time that you need, because I know that you're out there doing the best that you can. And this isn't easy, man. It's been multiple times I could have said screw this and just gave up and tried to start a different business. Because it's even with ads and things like that, I can't run ads. I don't know if it's because it's a black-owned brand or what, but I've seen ads for some of the other companies that are in the two-way space, but I can't run ads. So that only leads me to believe that it's because I'm a black-owned two-way company that I can't run ads. But it is what it is.
What's up, my primers? This is Yasuke Fett. Just letting you know that I'm going to stop the interview here because this is a 1 hour and 44-minute long interview. I do appreciate your attention this far. If you would like to hear future interviews in their whole entirety, please let me know. Give me your feedback at blackpowderpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find the page on Facebook. It is also located at Black Powder Podcast. Till then, this has been another Mag Dump. Stay tuned for the next couple of parts of this interview.